Will you miss out on a lot of crafting knowledge if you don't have your main profession whilst leveling? Probably not. Most knowledge is a weekly thing. So you could, in theory, spend the first few days herbing and mining, for example. Cashing in on the first couple of days of craziness. Then switch to your crafting professions and probably not be behind in any way, shape or form. But we also don't really know enough about knowledge points for me to guarantee that. So, either test for yourself on the beta or keep your fingers crossed if you take that approach. For example, to give you guys a bit more of a clear answer on that, what we know about knowledge points so far, there is probably 6, maybe 7 different sources that we already know for knowledge points, right? I'm going to ever so quickly just refer back to my Discord for a second because I've pinned one of the comments that's got a bunch of them. So there's, for knowledge points so far, you get 1 knowledge point as a first-time craft bonus anytime you make something with a profession. Now, obviously, you get that knowledge point whenever you craft that thing for the first time. There's no actual time restriction on when you do that. There are the Draconic Treaties that are from Inscription, which, as I have it on screen, I can probably show you. The Draconic Treaties are a scribe-crafted item that gives you 1 knowledge point, but is on a weekly cooldown for use, I think. Where have they gone? These things, right? So if you're a blacksmith, you can buy one of these off a scribe, and it will give you 1 knowledge point. Can only be studied once a week, though. So there's a cooldown on this. But once again, it's a weekly cooldown, so it's not super urgent. You get going with this straight away. There's some one-time treasures that we know are dotted about the map that are going to be specific to certain professions and give you knowledge points. The one I can probably easily show you here, because I just purely because I remember exactly where it is. In the Waking Shores, there's near the fire rivers down here somewhere. Can you guys see that on this? Yeah, probably. Round here somewhere. I can't remember the exact location, but round here somewhere. There's some molten ingots on the floor. If you're a blacksmith, you can go and pick up these treasures. They're one-time treasures, and they give you, I think, 3 knowledge points. So there's a few one-time things you can do treasure-wise for knowledge. What else have we got? There's the Dragon Shards of Knowledge. Dragon Shards of Knowledge seem to have a huge amount of different sources that you can get them from, but there seems to be a limit of 3 per week that we know of so far. A Dragon Shard of Knowledge doesn't give you knowledge points directly. What you do, though, is you take it to a dude out in the Anaran Plains. There's a fella that is in a cave somewhere. I think it might be here. Northeast, slightly to the west of Marukai. There's a dude in a cave here which you can hand these Dragon Shards of Knowledge to, and in exchange you can pick up a knowledge point for a profession of your choice, and he also gives you some artisan's metal. So there's a couple of probably 3 a week you can do there. Plus, down in Fork River Crossing you have some Artisans Consortium quests, which are one-time only quests. You can only ever complete them once. But once you do that little quest chain, I think you're rewarded with, if memory serves me right, 3, maybe 4 of these Dragon Shards of Knowledge from that quest chain, which, once again, you take them back to this dude in a cave and exchange them for the profession knowledge you want. You can trade Artisan's Metal for knowledge points on a one-time buy system in Valdraken. Towards the... Let's see if I can work out exactly where it is on the minimap. This little... to the northern part of the Artisan's Market. There's a fella called Raboul who stands here. And Raboul will, depending on what your reputation is with the Artisan's Consortium, let you trade 100, then 200, then 300 artisan's metal for a book of knowledge. That book, I think, gives crafters 10 knowledge points, and I think it gives gatherers 15, but I may be corrected on that. There's only 2 other sources that we know for knowledge. I am clearly going to clip this and put it on YouTube, by the way. There's only 2 other locations for knowledge that we know of so far. One is your profession weekly quest, which we still can't quite confirm or deny whether it is a weekly. It's not a daily because it doesn't appear every day. It may be something that you can complete twice a week. But that will be given to you by various vendors depending on what your profession is in Valdrakken. And you can pick this up really quickly. I think you can pick this up from as low as level 62. So you can get going on the knowledge from those weeklies pretty quickly. What you might do is you might struggle to actually be able to hand in those quests though, because they often require like quality 2 materials or quality 2 crafts. So it may be a little bit difficult to get the knowledge from those daily/weekly. Let's just call it twice a week quests. And there's only one final location that I can think of off the top of my head, which is once again a probably bi-weekly quest. I reckon you'll probably be able to do this twice a week. But you get 3 knowledge points for completing a work order. So it's kind of Blizzard's way to push people more so to work orders. So add all of that up, add all of that together. Nothing of that list, to tie it back to the initial question, nothing on that list is super strictly, like on a daily thing. But if you don't do any of it for a week, you are going to start missing out. It's kind of a week time gating on that. Quick numbers. Probably looking at 3, 6, 9, 10. You're probably looking at about 15 to 20 knowledge points a week, roughly. But like I said, this is all very rough because we clearly don't know everything, and beta is still very much in beta. But yeah, strikes me as a great topic for a nice video. Well, this is clearly getting clipped and is clearly going on YouTube. So if you're watching this later on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here. And I hope that was helpful. I'll see you all next time. Peace. For anybody watching live, hopefully that gives a little bit more of a rundown of where we know we get knowledge from. You can see how it comes from a whole bunch of different sources, which is why it's making it quite hard to put an exact number on how many you could get, because actually the speed in which you gain knowledge is different on gathering professions to what it is on crafting professions. We already know that for a fact. So yeah, sure.